Hello folks, this is Twitch for another episode with Alert and Alive. We have a very special program outlined for you today. Look at what we've done here and then decide what fits your family and your circumstance. There's no cookie cutter solution to these. It's to generate and give you ideas. These are two of my very good friends. To my right is David.
Hello.
Welcome. And David's going to start by showing us what he's got and why he's got it in there, and then Scott. And then Scott will take a little break after David shows his stuff on the table. Scott will lay his out. We'll go from there. So, David, go ahead.
All right, thank you. There's no two go bags that are the same, because when you make your go bag, you decide what works for you and what you need. When I create a go bag, it's for one of two reasons. Either I'm making it so that if my car breaks down or something happens when I'm away, I can get home, or it's to get from where I am at my home to another location. A go bag is not designed to fill up and go out into the woods for 4 years. That's not what they are. This is a 1, 2, 3 day arrangement for me. That's what I do. The thing about it is you need to know how long you're going to be moving, because the longer it is, the heavier your go bag is, the more things you're going to need. When I go out of my house, I usually have my go bag. I'll have water in the vehicle. I have my cell phone, a pocket knife, a hat. I'll take some footwear that I can wear back. I'll take other tools with me that I might need, like a jacket if it's cold out. Right now we're in pretty warm weather. The first thing we need to do in taking a look at our bag is decide upon what type of bag we're going to carry. This is my go bag today because I change go bags depending on what I'm doing. This one I'm using today, it's a 50-liter bag. A 50-liter bag for me, I can last 4 or 5 days with it pretty easily. So when you pick a bag, what I'd recommend you do is, number one, get a bag that's good quality. Get a near rating that's 500 or better. Make sure you have good zippers in it. You can see this thing's open. This has a lot of compartments, things. If you like compartments, that's great. You know, just make sure it's of good quality. Some of the companies you can get bags from that are high quality, that I've used, are like 511. This one's a 511 bag. I've used Maxpedition, that's what this bag is. Eberle Stock, Mystery Ranch, Squatch from San Antonio. They make them here in San Antonio, Texas. The point is, get a bag that is of high quality. Make sure the bag fits you and is comfortable. And the biggest thing is make sure you can carry the bag. If you create a bag that holds 50 pounds worth of stuff and you can carry 20 pounds, it's just gonna kill you. And I know that personally. This bag that I'm going to do today, for example, weighs around 30 pounds, which is the high end of total comfort for me. 30 pounds is awesome, but 50 pounds is uncomfortable. One thing I want to mention with regard to weight is when you're deciding what you're going to put into the bag, I would recommend you write down some categories. What's the most important thing you can carry? Some people might say, hey, it's water. Someone else might say, hey, it's fire. Whatever the most important thing is, put that at the top of your list, then categorize all the rest of the items you want to have. You're going to hear what I think is best for me, but your list may be very different from mine. If you have the first item as fire, then what you should do is you should have multiple ways of creating fire. So if you say, hey, fire's the most important thing, and you have a big lighter where the switch gets pushed down and it's empty, well, you just failed at fire. But if you had 5 ways of making fire, be they a ferro stick and matches and lighters and all sorts of other things, and you have all the cloths, char cloth and Vaseline cotton balls and everything to make fire, well, you're in good shape. My number one item is water. And it's my number one item because I live in a hot climate and it's humid. And so when I am moving, carrying weight, I'm sweating. So what I do to take care of the water side of things is, number one, in my bag, you can see I have this hose that goes to a hydration bag. That hydration bag is a 3-liter bag. So I have 3 liters immediately right there. Additionally, I carry 2 1-liter containers. This is a Nalgene container, Nalgene, and the Nalgene is really good. I've never had one rupture. I've dropped them down cliffs. I've done all sorts of things with them. Fortunately, they have never broken. This one actually has some some flat tape wrapped around it, so if I need to start a fire using that, I can. If I need to patch something, I can. I have one that is just a plastic one, and I have a nesting cup, which I put it in. The nesting cup is by Pathfinder, and I have that so that I can boil water if I need to. And then I also have the actual Pathfinder container, and if I take the lid off, I can boil water in this container as well. These are the two containers that I carry along with the bladder, and I put them on the sides to make it even on the weight. To purify the water, I have 2 or 3 different methods. I mentioned that I can boil water if I want to, but I don't like making fires, so what I normally do is I'll use number 1. If the water seems very clean, I can use tablets to purify it, and the tablets make the water taste terrible, which is just the way it is. But if you've been without water for very long, who cares how terrible it tastes? Then I have the Sawyer water filter, and these are great. They're awesome. This actually will go, if I want to, I can actually install this in the tube, so it's in line. And so all I have to do is put it in, and then whenever I drink out of this, it'll go through the filter. In addition, which I don't have here today, because I don't normally carry it unless I'm going to be out for a while, sometimes I'll actually carry a bigger filter, and that one is a Katadyn. In addition to the water, and this could be considered medical actually, I use Noon trace element replacement tablets, and these electrolytes are really important for me. If I don't, I get cramps. And what I have in here, there's about 10 of them in this container. Half of these tablets are just normal tablets, but the bottom half of the tablets actually have caffeine in them too. I probably won't have my Mountain Dew with me, so I can drink one of these things that's like a Mountain Dew. But if I'm traveling and I only have a few more miles to go to get home and I'm just tired, I'm gonna do this, use a caffeine tablet, even though they're terrible for your body. Well, I don't have to have food daily. After a day or so of fasting, the energy level really drops, attitude can start to suffer. So what I do is I bring some food items along with me. Now, a lot of people will carry things like Mountain House freeze-dried food, which is delicious. I love it. Or they'll bring MREs. But whatever the food you have, you really need to study it out a little bit, make sure you carry the right thing. For example, the Mountain House, this container, which is for 2 people, has a total of 500 calories, or 250 per serving. So it's not really packed with a ton of energy. It is nutritional, but it's not packed with energy.
You have to use water to hydrate that?
Absolutely, and it hydrates better if it's hot, if it's hot water. The MRE, on the other hand, it has more calories. It's gonna be 1,400 calories in this pack. But the problem with this pack for me is that if it's kept in temperatures of 120 degrees, it has a life of, according to the manufacturer, of approximately 30 days. So instead what I do is I carry peanut butter. And this has to be rotated as well. But it's a lot easier to rotate because peanut butter is used for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and everything else in the house. So I just carry this for a month or 2 and I switch it out. In addition to the peanut butter, I carry what's called Mainstay Energy Bar. This is one energy bar that has a total of 3,600 calories in it. Each of these cubes has 400 calories. They're hydration neutral, which means that they don't suck water out of your system when you eat them. They sort of taste like lemon cookies is what they taste like. I also carry some Cliff Bars, and this is just to break it up some. This could just as well be power bars or granola or anything else. The next area I have is my first aid. And what I have for first aid is, first of all, believe it or not, replacement glasses in case I lose or break my glasses. As far as I'm concerned, this is first aid because it's a prescription. Additionally, I carry some, this is not moleskin, this is tape for wrapping for sports injuries and things of that nature. I carry some sunscreen, and the sunscreen is to protect my face. I carry some wipes. These are just water. They're not antiseptic or anything at all like that. It's just wipes. So I can wipe off wounds, and I also have these for toilet paper. I don't carry toilet paper, I carry wipes. The last thing I have in the first aid kit, an actual first aid kit, this is it. I'm not gonna go through what all's in here. I mean, I'll open it up and just say, hey, this is the kind of stuff that's in here. This is, first of all, a blowout kit. So if you have an amputated arm, a hole in your chest, something of that nature, You can put a chest seal on, you have tourniquets in here, you have all sorts of things that you can treat those type of very serious wounds, combat gauze. But I also have, this is also my little boo-boo kit. So I have my little Superman Band-Aids in here. I have some Imodium, I have some Benadryl, I have painkillers, so if my head hurts I can take some painkillers. And I have my personal medicine too. So if I have prescriptions, I have my prescription medicine in this thing as well. And just need to make sure with regard to prescription medicine that it'll be stable inside of this kit. The next area I have is shelter. And for shelter, I have basically 3 things. That's it. The first of which is a poncho. And this poncho is just a military poncho that I got. It's nylon, it's not plastic. And I love ponchos. They work great as a rain cover. I can throw it over my backpack to keep my backpack dry. But if I want to stay overnight, camp out, I can use this poncho as a tent. And inside of here, you might be able to hear that, I have stakes. And the poncho is already equipped with some cordage to make a tent out of. Additionally, I carry this little tarp. And this is actually a Mylar type tarp. It's designed so one side is silver and the other one's green. So I can throw this inside of my tent, my makeshift tent, and it'll keep me off the ground, it'll keep me dry. And if I'm cold, I can roll up in it. Of course, it's pretty warm here these days, but it serves multiple purposes as well. And then the last thing I have for protection is I have some cordage here. And these are just little pieces of 550 cord. And I have 4 of them that are either 5 or 15 feet in length. I have one roll that's 50 feet. And the next area I'm going to cover is the clothing. And I only carry a few things when it comes to clothing. I have the clothes I'm wearing. In my vehicle, I'll have a pair of long pants. I'm wearing shorts right now, but I have long pants in the vehicle, so I can throw on long pants if I'm going to start walking home. But besides the long pants, the first thing I have is a pair of gloves. I always wear, okay, if something happens, wear your gloves. You gotta wear your gloves, and you should wear gloves. I also carry this t-shirt right here. And this is a $20, $25 t-shirt that I got. But it covers my arms, keeps me cool, and wicks moisture away. The next thing I have is 2 pairs of socks. I can't tell you enough that extra socks are so critical when you're walking. I have also a giant scarf. It's like 3 feet square. And you know, it's good for wrapping my head. That's the only place it's not gonna be covered. I can wrap my head. I can use it for straining yucky stuff out of water before it goes into be filtered. But I carry that along just for protection. And then I actually have a rain jacket. You know, if you're all wet and it's 50 degrees, you can get hypothermic. The last couple of things I have is, I do have 2 flashlights. One's a headlamp, one's just a regular light. The one thing about these 2 lamps is that they have rechargeable batteries. You can't carry extra batteries for it. So what I do is I have this rechargeable battery, and this is a battery bank. This battery bank can charge these 2 up a couple times, and my cell phone. Next, I have tools. I will tell you, this is one of the heavy things I have. Then my tools include a Leatherman, but I also have, I call these tools for communication. I have a signaling mirror, okay? I also have a radio that's in here. And this is a little Baofeng UV. With this radio, I can listen to FM radio stations, I can listen to the NOAA channels, I can talk simplex with people if they're close enough. The farthest I've communicated with this radio right here was 18 miles. I do have 2 lighters. If I'm cold, if I'm hypothermic, I will use a lighter, you know. And this was a little torch, and this was an arc lighter. The other thing I have is a GPS, and the GPS does have topographic maps on it. So I can see where I am if I want to, but more important, I can see the coordinates where I am. Additionally, I carry a ton of batteries for everything that I carry. Everything that I have in my pack, every type of battery I need is in this kit. And I have additional antennas. The other form of communication that I do have is my cell phone. That's just one other tier that you can have. The only other thing I have that's a tool is this right here. This is a pace counter. I have one with every bag I have just to keep track of distances. But I also have this right here. And this is my necklace. I wear it around my neck. And this actually is a flash drive. And this flash drive has my birth certificate, driver's license, all my personal information on our bank accounts, all of our loans, every single piece of information. I just carry it, gives me comfort. And then the last thing I carry is maps. I have some maps, and these are just little county maps. I may be carrying an actual gazette of the entire country. It depends on where I'm going, but I carry maps for the area where I'm traveling. I also carry this little notebook. And this notebook is for me to just, of course, write little notes. When I leave something for someone on a note for someone, I can write it down. I have Write and Rain, this is a Write and Rain notebook, a Sharpie and a regular Bic pen. I also have a compass in here that I carry with me, and there are a lot of good compasses that can be separate. Finally, I do carry a protractor in here for orienteering.
Yep.
So that's what I carry in this little thing, and that right there is my go bag. This bag right here weighs right at 22 pounds. We said before, if I carry all 5 liters of water, that's 1.32 gallons, and that'll weigh 10.5 pounds. And that's what the pack looks like right there. But that is my kit.
Thank you, David. So I want to thank you, David,
Absolutely, thank you.
for sharing with us your emergency bag, your go bag. Excellent presentation, great ideas for all our followers and listeners. And folks, this is going to be part 1 of 3-part series on go bags. So you get an idea of different presentations, different types of things that you can tailor make for your own family's needs. So thank you very much,
Thank you.
David,
I
for
hope it
being here
gave
today.
people ideas about what they can do.
Oh, it will, and we'll call on you again, my friend.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.